My name is Kathleen Krevetski, and I'm in the northwest neighborhood of Rutland City. And this new show that we are developing is called On the Porch, and I would like to welcome you this morning. We're hoping to do this on a regular basis because things are heating up, as you can imagine, and people are pretty anxious these days, and I think we need some information at the local level to help ease that. And what I'm talking about today is a wonderful opportunity for Rutland City that has not been discussed, which is why I'm bringing it up today. The College of St. Joseph campus, many of you know, many of you attended classes there, many of you walked the woodlands that are there, and I think that it should be in the public domain. I think that what happened with the Heritage Family Credit Union was very sad, and I think it can be rectified. When I first started with this endeavor, I had called Matt Lewandowski about the availability when they had pushed the enterprise zone people away, saying that they were too slow in acting. And at that time, when I called him, he had said it was already sold to Heartland, and that if I had to talk about that property, I would need to talk to Heartland. And he connected me to Mr. Weatherhog, and a couple of us ladies went up there and toured the Clement Wood Mansion on site and the property, and we were very interested in it as a possible public facility for the performing arts. And what happened since then has been downhill. When I had talked about the Clement Wood estates being valued at $1.3 million in 2018, that included the 25 acres, the discussion with Heartland was off the table. We honored the fact that Heartland had signed a contract with Heritage Family Credit Union, and unfortunately they have not lived up to that contract. They were supposed to break ground in September, in the spring actually, and that hasn't happened, and it still hasn't happened. What has happened is Heartland has gone numerous times to our city asking for not only tax incentives and breaks, but also for the city to do the infrastructure work that needs to be done for a plan that has not even been registered with the city zoning officials and building officials. So it is my expectation that Heartland will pull out of that contract this year, and the city has to be ready to decide on what the plan is there so that the city controls it. Now, what I was suggesting is public ownership, whether that's through the city or through a private nonprofit. We can bring back the enterprise zone there with what is there. And that is why I'm talking here today and actually started this on the porch discussion, because it is not being discussed at all. I had gone to the mayor back in August with the plan, and he sat on it for about 2 weeks, and when I called him back, he said no one was interested in the town hall, which I assumed meant also the new Cedar organization led by Lyle and Brennan Duffy. I'm not sure why the city wasn't at the table when these discussions were being made, but they need to be made now. Why do we need such a big project? Is because our city needs to come together in unity, working for something that we can all believe in. And music heals, and I had suggested a state-of-the-art music facility there, that where our kids can learn not only music but many other job opportunities would be embedded in all that material. Food service, they have a cafeteria and a full commercial kitchen that Stafford Technical School could use, needs. We need home health care aides, taking care of our population here in Rutland that is always running, they're always running short. We could put outdoor recreation training there, theater production, performing arts. All of that can come up through the city with people working together like we already are. Heritage Family Credit Union owns that parcel, and for Heritage Federal Credit Union to send prospective people to Heartland was a very bad mistake, and that was an example that we gave was what happened with the library situation. Heartland was never vetted by Heritage Family Credit Union. As a matter of fact, if you follow it along, you'll find that just public participation here found that Heartland was suspect to begin with, and we brought it up numerous times, and Heritage Family Credit Union still is dealing with them to the detriment of the city. I believe that we need to figure out, there's 40,000 of us that are members of the Heritage Family Credit Union, and I believe that we need a root cause analysis on how Heartland got to the table in the first place, signed a contract very quickly, and then was not able to live up to that contract. Heartland has not been a good neighbor, and the latest is that the mayor took their request for to the Board of Aldermen to ask for money to put the infrastructure up there. So if the city is going to invest that, they should be investing it for our future. There's over 100 acres there. We have lots of possibilities of what could go up there, including future use with our school systems. We have, if our schools deteriorate any further and become condemned like what happened in Burlington, we have no place to build new schools, and that campus would assure that we do in the future. There is a human connection that is missing here in the city. People are angry, they're very verbal, people are attacking each other as well as volunteers who have stepped up to serve the city, and we would be able to unify the city under this plan, because it would be doing job training for the people, for the people that need employment. With COVID, the gig economy that we had here closed down. There was many musicians that had their livelihoods up in Killington and also down here in Rutland that went dead after COVID. And by having a facility where you can also enjoy and play music and also be trained in another career choice, so that when something like this happens again, you can have backup, whether that is through healthcare or studio design. There's lots of opportunities there. It just has to be discussed. Calling back the mayor and for him to tell me no way anybody in the town hall supports this, when he was able to carry over the request for money for aldermen for Heartland, does not seem right. And that's why I'm coming to the general public and asking you to think seriously about having such a facility here in Rutland to bring people in. We have spent a lot of money trying to bring people in for what it comes down to, and making Rutland a bigger and better music mecca, because it is, when you look at what we have done with the Paramount Theater and their new plans. It just makes sense to make sure that we're taken care of, that the people in Rutland are taken care of, and that doesn't happen with outside investment as much as it does with grassroots support. So please call the mayor and tell him that at least it should see the light of day for discussion. Lyle Jepson and the Rutland Redevelopment Authority have their agenda. It's not really clear. They put out an annual meeting last week at the fairgrounds, which was lovely. Lovely evening, lovely people. But the issue is, what are we doing for the future? We can't just keep talking about things that do not exist. That's going to come. Bringing people here that are going to bring their business. We need to create the business, and the business here in Rutland would be the music business. That we would be bringing acts in from New York, if indeed we did have a performing arts center there, that our children could not only appreciate but learn from. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I think it's so important, and the fact is it's almost the end of the year, and my concern is Heritage Family Credit Union has not been attuned to people's distress and anger over the disharmony that Heartland has caused our community. I'll be doing more of these and interviewing other people as we advance. It won't be so much on the porch in the future. With the winter coming, we did get a frost in Vermont recently, which has been delayed considering it's almost the end of October. And that's what I wanted to talk about. As far as the enterprise zone, when Heritage Family Credit Union pushed that away from the table, we lost many years of work by volunteers and elected officials on enterprise zone. And by owning that parcel, we would control what's going on there, and the people can decide. So I'm trying to bring it to the light of day, because there's so much division and disharmony. And it's important in these COVID times that we try to get along with each other. Get along with each other and not take it out on our kids or the people here that serve Rutland. I don't know if you saw the article in the paper yesterday, where if people think everything is hunky-dory here, it's not. And they are taking more and more liberty on not only running for public office like we saw at the school board, but also trying to negate the good people here in Rutland. I just have to read this one comment to say what has driven me, because when times get tough, the tough get going, and that's every one of us. We cannot wait for Washington to help us. Although this project could be funded by COVID money, because it involves not only climate change but also COVID post-pandemic survival. I won't even say who it is, but I just want to say that he talked about the filth and lies that teachers can sneak into lesson plans. That kind of rhetoric is dangerous, and we can't allow it. And that's why I'm standing up. This is my first time. I did it years ago, and I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody that has been a community activist who has to stand and tell you what I think, because that makes me feel like I'm doing something. And I'm asking for everyone here in Rutland to stand up and work for something good, like that purchase of the College of St. Joseph. It is the last open space in Rutland. I thank you for listening. Tell your friends about this, and more to come. This is Kathleen Krevetski on the porch in Rutland City. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope I will get better as I go along, but it is a discussion, so talk to your neighbors about it and stay safe. Thank you.